Hello, everyone. This is Gavin Babalao, the Director of Solution Engineering and Product Development here at Lifeguard Solutions, bringing to you another edition of How Easy Can It Be on the Lifeguard platform. Today, we're actually going to be looking at permit management and what our applications can do from a permitting standpoint, how we can essentially capture that level of detail and ensure an organization's compliance moving forward. So for today's individual presentation, we're actually going to be looking at a little bit of an overview of the application, then we'll hop right into a demonstration. Within that overview, what we're actually going to be taking a look at are some of the individual things that you would be able to capture and what the overall workflow looks like. So within our permit management application, what we're going to end up seeing here is the ability of capturing some level of individual permit details. So within those details, again, we have things such as the type of permit, the specific agency that it's coming from, who essentially is going to be owning that permit within the application, any associated dates, so any effective dates, expiry, or reapplication dates that need to be captured within the system, which is very important. This is essentially determining a lot of the individual notifications that are going to be going out from the system directly to your employees. Now, moving from there, once we have all the permit details, this is when we get into your specific permit conditions. So understanding all your prerequisites. So what do you need to do before you even apply for the permit itself? All of the associated conditions to that permit, any specific regulations that need to be adhered to, any individual related equipment, and any specific audits that you would need to undertake to ensure your compliance with those permits moving forward. Now, beyond that, once we have all that information in, this is where we get into specific individual activities, being able to associate them into the application. So again, really ensuring that you're getting things done in the appropriate time frame and basis itself. And lastly, again, any individual information that's being done, if it is being executed on a reoccurring basis, being able to version that permit and being able to ensure that, again, all the information is maintained within the system. So team, with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to hop out of PowerPoint and we're going to go right into the application itself. So team, what you can see at this point, each individual application as I come into it will have its own individual unique landing page. That landing page will have specific KPIs and metrics or reports that you're specifically looking for your organization. So again, keep in mind, completely configurable from the information you're seeing here. As I hop into my individual permits, what I could start to see is my individual permits that I have specifically for my San Francisco location. I can hop into, let's say, my above ground storage tank, and I can start to see all of the associated information. Along the very top, I have a specific workflow that can be defined based on organization, but more importantly, a lot of the key pieces of information that we were looking at. So things such as my permit information, who it's actually being issued by, all the associated numerical information for the permit itself, basic information around the effective expiry information. But this is, as I mentioned previously, extremely key to the organization itself. So this is actually what drives the specific notifications that really ensure that things are not falling through the cracks. So things such as my expiry date and my reapply date that will actually drive notifications to my individual end user, whoever is the owner of this individual permit, to say, hey, look, you need to reapply for this. It's going to expire on this date, and here's all the associated information that you need. Scrolling down a little bit further here, we get into prerequisites. So identification of the items that we're going to need to ensure that we can reapply for this permit with ease. So things such as individual fees, documents that we need to collect, any individual executive sign off that we need to attain prior to reapplication of the actual permit itself. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have the ability of identifying the specific conditions that are appropriate for this permit itself. So we can go through, identify the specific clauses, what the conditions are, what the individual description of those conditions are specific to the individual permit, and be able to associate that information out. If we come down a little further, we have the ability of linking to specific regulatory content. So we can bring that information into our application and link your individual permit to that regulatory content. Quick and easy to do, and we have the ability of capturing all of that level of detail without any issue. A little bit further down, we have the ability of conducting audits. So being able to go through, have the specific individual audit associated to this permit or this piece of equipment quickly and easily accessible from the individual permit itself. So again, creating those linkages to ensure that from a compliance standpoint, all of our information is being held within the specific application. Lastly, what we have here is the linkage to specific pieces of equipment. So again, being able to understand what individual equipment is covered by the specific permit itself. And again, if there is the ability of having multiple pieces of equipment linked to a singular permit, we can do that as well. Down below, if we had any individual specific revisions of this permit, we would actually have that information listed here. And lastly, activities, we would be able to log not only individual calls, but specific tasks using Salesforce core functionality. But team, this is a quick overview of the permitting application. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to schedule an in-depth review of the application, show you the ins and outs, and really ensure that, again, you have a good feel for the application moving forward. Once again, this is Gavin, your Director of Solution Engineering and Product Development here at Lifeguard Solutions. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either myself or anyone on the team. We'd be more than happy to speak with you and guide you through the process. Have a great day, everyone.